All right, boys and girls, how's everybody doing? Whew, man, I was having a hustle. I don't even know if I'm set up right. I'm still getting ready, but I went ahead and kicked it on here. I gotta check my focuses, and y'all let me know if it's looking okay, if I'm focused or out of focus, or let me know. Focus mode. All right, base. I don't call that good enough. All right, let me find my script. Everybody doing okay tonight? Let's see here. Uh, Shoot, I don't even know what darn. Is it in this one? Raven County Rag. August. Boy, I've been making a lot of these things. I'm just now realizing how many I have done. Today is the 18th. Did I put 17th? Oh. 20. This is a Raven County Rag, right? Y'all, bear with me. September 18th. All right. I found script. Let me see what I can make happen here. Uh-oh. And I want this there. All right. Uh-oh. And I want this to go back down here. There we go. All right. Let me largen that up. I need a bigger. I did get a second monitor so that I can have a little more real estate to well, crap. A little more real estate for reading this stuff. And how am I sounding? I'm a little further away from the mic than I like. And I'm using some headphones that I'm not sure that I like. Let me take these out. And I'll just keep talking until I find a wired set. You know, it's just when you're on the road, it's kind of tough. How's everybody doing? If you're watching, say hello to me. Let me know somebody cares that I'm putting in the effort. It don't matter. I'm going to continue to put in the effort. Now I got to change my darn. Hang on. Sound setting. I got to go to headphones. All right, boys and girls. All right. Now how I sound. Okay. It might sound a little better. All right. I still need some gain, I think. Let me look at this. I'm not peaking. Let me, where's the gain? That's not, this is. How's that? Any better? I got it peaked up at the gain there. All right. I'm going to leave it right about there, so I don't have to feel like I'm yelling and clipping. Anyway, here we are, Thursday night, Raven County Rag. And I'm probably looking up, reading my notes, and not at the camera, so y'all are going to have to forgive me. All right, good evening, friends and kin. Welcome back to the Raven County Rag. I may be rolling down the road tonight or off in some hollow, which I am. I'm in, uh-oh. I lost my data, lost my stream. It should be coming back. All right. Yeah. Hey, listen, it may be a little noisy. I'm in a hotel room, and these walls aren't treated. So it may be a little echoey, and I'm using this, this old loud blue Yeti. I mean, that's the only thing I had that I really wanted to travel with. It's USB microphone. But anyway, I may not be there, but that doesn't mean I'm not thinking about you and thinking about being home. I'm in Paradise, Kentucky, working on a TVA plant with a great group of guys. Finishing up. I'm supposed to be finishing up tomorrow, unless there's a hitch, and then I may be here for another day or two next week. But it looks like right now I'm going to be rolling down the road, coming to the house, and I am ready to spend some time at home. I know I've been talking about it. I'm at home and I can go fishing at any time and don't hardly ever think about it. Got other things going on. But the dadgum minute I leave town to do something, the first thing that crosses my mind is fishing. Ain't that a shame? Let me see what I can do here. Back that out. And, oh, you sorry dog. So anyway, y'all send me a message. Send me a whatever these things are, and let me know what's going on. Let me know you're watching. I'm interested. Let's see. And I'm still fooling around. Y'all give me a minute. 36 episodes of the Rabun County Rag. Can you believe that? I have been doing this for 36 weeks. No viewers. But I think my skill set is improving. I think, well, I think I'm getting better. And here I am. I'm just checking the stream health and seeing how that looks, so I can hear if it goes haywire. Anyway, like I said, I might not be there, but I'm thinking about it all the time. You know, I dreamed for years and years of moving to Rabun County, where I could be within just a hop, skip, and a jump from more trout water than I'd be able to fish for the balance of my life. And I did it. And then I'm there, I'm doing yard work, I'm doing videos, and all of a sudden, I'm not fishing very much. And I leave town, and the first thing my mind turns to is fishing. That's crazy. So I'm looking forward to it. Maybe the weather's cooled down. Maybe the old leaf peepers ain't moved in all the way yet. And get some quiet time on the river without a bunch of, let me take these headphones out. Without a bunch of, visitors. And I appreciate the visitors. I want everybody to come visit, but I like my solitude a little bit too. That's why I moved up there. But the mountains, the people, the stories, they go with me everywhere I go, and that's why I do this little show. Before we dig into the news, seasons, and what's ahead, let me remind you who we are. Rabun County RAG, we are a community of like-minded people with common interest in hunting, fishing, protecting our community, culture, families, and environment. We exchange ideas, resources, and information. And that's why we gather here every Thursday at 6 o'clock. It was a struggle tonight. I think I popped on about 1 minute after 6. I left the job site. The guy I'm working with over there, he was very generous. I told him I had something important to do. And he said, yeah, go for it, man. So thank you, Glenn. I appreciate it, Bubba. Letting me get out here and communicate with the folks, either live or as they flip through at another time. And that's why we gather here every Thursday at 6 o'clock. That and because there are always new trails to walk, new stories to tell, and new ways to keep Rabun strong. Tonight our theme is New Season, New Stories, our Rabun Roots. We've got harvest and hunt seasons coming, local events to mark, and Rabun news that speaks to our past, present, and future. Now, the archery season is in full swing. I think opening day for archery was on Saturday, the 13th. And I think dove season opened the week before that, the 6th. I'm not sure how far along that runs. But deer season, it runs through January 11th, 2026. And I am not sure how long that season runs. I talked about it before. I've got a link here, but I'm afraid if I go somewhere, I'll never get back and be lost in the script. If you're listening to me, let me know. Are you getting ready for gun season? Have you scouted your bow? Have you done any bow hunting? Anybody had any luck with the old bow shooting? Let me look at something here. Anybody had any luck with bow hunting? Am I in focus? I can't tell. Let me look at this darn thing. I can't tell. I can see it breathing a little bit. I'm about half blind anyway. I know I'm out of focus. Anyway, here we go. Let me know how the hunt's going. Let me know what you're doing to get ready for the hunt. Are you a bow hunter? Tell me about your bow. Tell me about your equipment. Tell me how you hunt. Tell me what you look for, what kind of habitat you're in to take your quarry. I'm interested and want to know, and maybe you can share a little bit of your expertise with us. I know some of you great hunters out there don't want to share your secrets, and I'm not asking you where you hunt. I'm just asking you your techniques. I just want to know what kind of techniques you use. Also, for the dove shoot. Anybody shoot any dove? I know my wife's got about 12 pair out there, that them little old finches and whatever kind of birds they are. She keeps them, the bird feeder full for them, and they'll get out there, and they only, certain birds only like certain seeds, and she's got that wild bird mix, it's got everything in it, and they'll get in there and scratch through that stuff like little chickens looking for something they want to eat, and they'll scratch it down to the ground, and it falls at what I'd imagine it's 12-15 feet down to the ground there to the runoff ditch, and which is good because a lot of it sprouts and grows grass in that ditch. I mean, I've got rock in it, but to stop erosion, but it sprouts in there, and the dove get in there and they feel safe in that tall grass, and they'll pick through that stuff that the other birds throw out, and They're getting fat. They fat. I can imagine that. I can almost taste them old bacon wrapped dove breasts. Let me know what you think about them old bacon wrapped dove breasts. Anyway, I was just curious about that. Bear season, it also opens on last weekend for archery, and then primitive weapons and then firearms from October 18th forward. You can check that out at Georgia Outdoor News is where I've got my information. I will say that Pluriforia got her information, and I call her. Pluriforia got the information from that outlet. If that's wrong and you know it's wrong, let me know so I can adjust where I get my information. I'm not a perfect man, but I am a man. I can change, I'm sure. Excuse me, y'all. Now, squirrel and small game trapping has been running for a while now. And runs through February 28th with a daily limit of 12 per person for squirrel. Trapping season for fur bears like fox, bobcat, mink, etc. run December 1st through February 28th. That's on public lands. Now, private land rules different somewhat. Always check your regulations. You do have, but the season is different, but you still have to have a license to hunt on private land. Check regulations for the county at Georgia Wildlife. I think that's the name of it. Let me look. Yeah. GeorgiaWildlife.com. That's where you can go to find that information. Now's the time to be prepping your rifles and stuff. Make sure your rifles are cleaned. Make sure you've got the right ammunition. Make sure you've got them sighted and ready to go. Check your license. Make sure you got the right license. You got your tags. Map your spots. Set your plans. The woods will be moving before you know it. Also, fishing still good. I don't even know what time it is. It is 6:20. Fishing still good, like I was talking about earlier. I'm ready to get back and get some of them trout. I'm thinking I got some smokehouse almonds at the house. I'm thinking some trout almondine would be just perfect. I need to do something about that. Yeah. See if my old son-in-law help me out with that and get, I don't know, 2 trout apiece, and there's 4 adults and a grand boy. That's 8. I'll have to go with him and make sure we get, see, the limit's 8. If we got them all, I'm sure they'd be eating. Boy, that old trout almondine done up and buttered and smoked almonds. I believe that'd be better than plain old trout almondine where they just use regular fresh almonds. I don't know. We fix to find out, I think. All else fails, I can go to the darn grocery store. It just got me thinking about that trout almondine. Paul's on the River there in Helen used to make a pretty good trout almondine. So if you're out in Helen and got the disposable income and want to let them give it a go for you, man, you ought to give it a go. If not, stay home and cook it. That is the simplest trout recipe. It's a filleted trout. You just lay it open and you could take the bones out and leave the bones in. Let me check this message. Pan sear it in the enough butter it almost float, and then on the second half of the cooking, throw in the old throw in the old almonds, and you can use plain almonds, or you can use I got a bunch of them old smokehouse almonds, so that sounds like what I'm going to attempt to do. Anyway, what's your favorite? Send me what your favorite trout recipe is. I'm really interested in hearing what your favorite trout recipe is. I'd love to hear it. Send it to me. Send me a message. Give me a comment. I'd like to see a comment on here. I think last week I had one viewer pop in. There's one on there right now. It's probably me checking the stream health on another device. But man, I'd probably fall out of the frame here in the floor if somebody would send me a comment on here. But let's talk about the fishing tip. Even in the late summer, bass and bluegill are hanging in tight structures, shaded creek mouths, submerged logs, brush edges, and lakes. Try early in the morning or twilight hours. Use top water or small jigs, worms, depending on how calm the water looks. If you can, stretch a line for a juvenile trout in cooler stream areas. The fights are worth it, and they keep the love of fishing alive in the next generation. Fathers, I'm a father. If the ladies want to listen and find joy in these comments, then please do. But I cannot think of a prouder moment than when a father is with a son and he's catching his fish. My little old boy, man, Garth, he just, I could tell you some stories about that guy fishing. It just made me a proud papa all the time. He naturally had it. It fell into him, and I don't know if he naturally had it. Hell, I was fishing all the time, and he wanted to be with Dad, and it was a wonderful time. Don't miss that. Take your children fishing. And now let's, I think we covered fishing enough. We talked about a trout recipe, talked about taking the kids fishing. Let me see if I can pull this screen down a little bit. That one behind me is on a darn old stretch thing, and the screen ain't heavy enough to keep it down, so you see me looking up like this trying to read it. And I'm trying to get it where it's right here at eye level so I can keep up with the script. If I didn't have a script, it would just be terrible. So, I mean, I will talk about stuff and go off on tangents, but at least I have some type of format. Thank you, Pluriforia. Pluriforia, I'd like to know if you're listening to this. If you could just... If you're listening to this, say hello to me. I would fall out of the chair again if you were to send me a message. It would flabbergast me, and you'd really have something to talk about yourself, my friend. We got some celebrity ball players in the county, and it's not that I don't like sports. It's just like I was trying to keep this program where we talk about the outdoors and taking care of our environment. But it's a young man. He plays for the University of Georgia. I believe he is now the leading quarterback. He is the starting quarterback for University of Georgia. Go Bulldogs. Ruff, ruff. But Gunner Stockton, he went to high school in Rabun County, and then he went to University of Georgia. Real talented young man. But anyway, his jersey, number 14, is being retired at Rabun County High School during their homecoming game, and that's tomorrow night. That's going to be an exciting time. Maybe he'll be there, show up, and pat some young men on the back that's following him in his footsteps and encourage them to play with their heart and achieve some of the things that he has achieved. You know, when you're good at something, whether you're good at anything or not, I still think it's your responsibility to promote other people's well-being and help them succeed in whatever they do as well. So anyway, in that he's set multiple state records, a great moment of pride for the school, the team, and the community. Now that darn old Toulouse, you know, Rabun County just blew taxes right out of the water. Went from what, 17 million to 21 million, a leap of that much in 1 year. And now the town of Tallulah is in the news. They're proposing a 2.48% property tax increase. Now they they put lipstick on this thing. You know, they'll play games with that millage rate versus the property tax rate. They'll play games with it. You know, they'll jack up the millage 1 year and it doesn't seem like a lot, and then the next year they'll jack up the tax rate on that millage, and so the millage rates will stay at 6 mills like 2024. And they'll be having some meetings. So if you're down in the Tallulah Falls area, and you know, they dress it up. They say if you got a $300,000, that's roughly just $17.40 more. Yeah, yeah, but it don't ever stop. It don't ever stop. Next year they'll go, well, we got a lot of problems. And then all of a sudden they change the millage rate from 6 to 7, and all of a sudden it's $170 that you got to pay. So I don't know all that much. All I know is that I know where I live on the mountainside up here that I pay $2,400 a year in property taxes, along with about 5 other neighbors, on a road that we have to self-maintain, on a water system that we have to self-maintain. And I've been there 8 years, and I have yet to see any kind of services up there. Any kind. We got electricity, but that's from Georgia Power. That's a quasi-governmental agency. And boy, they're hitting us hard right now with the taxes going up to cover the cost of the money they're giving to those data centers all over the state. But anyway, y'all get to your council meetings. Let these people know that you're listening and you're watching. If you ain't there making noise, they're going to assume you ain't paying no attention. And then before you know it, you know, everybody's moving out of the county. Hello, California. Hello, New York. And you got them coming down here now, leaving those high tax states. And what are they doing? They're doing the same thing they did that destroyed the community they're from. They're trying to do that crap here. I don't like it one bit, and I think we all need to be speaking out about it. So anyway, that's my political rant anyway. Clayton City Council's zoning changes. Medley is considering consolidating into a multi-special healthcare facility, and that's at the old indoor flea market. Can you believe it? We're losing a monument to who we are, the indoor flea market. And they're going to put in some kind of health care, but the zoning changes hadn't even passed yet, and they're down there building it. I wonder how much they had to grease somebody's palms to get that happen. Anyway, it does consolidate, because I think they have 4 units in Rabun County, and they're going to consolidate it. And I'm thinking, well, hell, that's not more convenient for the community. How is that more convenient? You know, the closer your health care to you is, the more convenient it is. And then what's the impact of bringing all those people from 4 different locations into one location? What's the traffic impact going to be like? Right there on that 11 acres or 12 acres. I don't know. Something to think about. Now, the Rabun County Board of Commissioners has a work session and a regular meeting scheduled for 23 September. The planning and zoning topics likely on the agenda. Good time to stay aware. Check out your local paper. I perused it and passed it on along to Pluriforia, but if we spend all our time dwelling on politics, we lose track. I don't want to be a darn Sean Hannity or Rush Limbaugh, or even though I miss Rush Limbaugh. Sean Hannity, I got where he just says the same thing too many times over and over. But I'm not interested in being all that. I got my views, but I sure don't want to. If y'all want them, I know my views. You sure got the right to ask me for them. Then I'll spew like there ain't been no spewing before. Whether I got the facts or not, I can talk about my feelings as long as I don't threaten or disparage anybody. Personally, I can say anybody. I can say the city council is a bunch of crooks as long as I don't call out Joe Blow, who's on there. Joe Blow, whatever city council you're on. I was just using an example, brother. Don't send no cease and desist. I'm just one guy out here in YouTube land trying to develop a following for his local community. Don't sue me, man. Just don't sue me. You wouldn't get nothing. You wouldn't get a thing, brother. You got an angry, fat, old white guy. That's what you'd get. Anyway, let's spin one from our past that still shapes us. Now, this one, I'm not familiar with Becky Branch Falls. And now I am familiar with War Woman Dale, right out of the Chattooga Ranger District. Says Becky Branch is a 20-foot cascade along Becky Branch Creek, one of the scenic trails off Bartram War Woman Road crossing. And I got this information from Wikipedia. Becky Branch. It's, when we think about it, gosh, we got so many wonderful. My daughter went walking this weekend with her mother-in-law, and they did that little War Woman trail, and I can't remember that fall that's right across the way from that War Woman Dale there. What is that road? Darn 76. Anyway, she said she had a wonderful time, a couple-mile walk, her and girls. Lord, I don't know how much I could deal with that, all that yakking. Anyway, it's a wonderful part of an older tradition. Walking the forest, these forest loops, listening to the creek water run, listening to the birds sing, the leaves rustle, sneaking up slowly and quietly, looking into the branch, maybe catch a trout or two swimming around, doing its trout things, and just seeing what the generations before us saw. The Indians saw the same thing we're looking at. All our forefathers and that lived in this dense, rich place, the forest, dense, rich forest, it slows the pace. It slows the pace. And it reminds us that preserving trails and maintaining access and respecting the land isn't just for our enjoyment, it's for honoring where we come from. And boys and girls, there's a whole lot of places like that other than War Woman and Becky Falls. There's all kinds of Panther Creek, and I'm going to start talking more about those, doing a little more research. And if you've got your favorite place to hike, send me a message. Let me know. I want to hear about some. I might not have heard of them all, and I'd like to see it. I'd like to hear some of your stories, some of the wonderful places around here that I am unfamiliar with. I know Moccasin Creek, Wildcat Creek, Minnehaha Falls, Panther Creek. Uh, there's all kinds of places I've been. The Tallulah, I've covered it from the trailhead way up North Carolina all the way down, fished and camped on a bunch of that river, all the way down into, what do they call that down there, that by the dam, I've fished it, flown the drone down there, never camped. I can't remember what they call it though. Yonah. I get it confused sometimes because there's a Mount Yonah over there near Cleveland or the line of with a Rangers train. So, but it just reminds us that we preserve these wonderful treasures that we have, and I intend to get more actively involved, especially with the Georgia Land Trust. I think it is, yeah, the North Georgia Land Trust. Stewardship of wildlife is really actually up, even though there's more people crowding in around us. Deer, bear, trout, they all depend on habitat, clean water, connected woods. Overharvest or careless development chokes off that fabric. It disrupts their patterns. They move out of the way, And you read about it in the paper, and you hear people talking about the bears all the time, and I don't hear many people complain about them. The bear got my darn bird feed, but I don't think they're ready to kill the bear for coming across their property. If we do the right thing and don't leave garbage out and food out for them, because a bear will scavenge. I mean, they're hungry. This fat boy'd scavenge too if he didn't have the resource. If I was living in the woods, you'd probably catch me in your bird feeder too. But if we continue to overdevelop or careless development, it chokes off that fabric, that land traces that they need to travel on. Bear and deer, their territories are wide and far. And if we put in too many roads, you shrink their territories, you confuse their navigational skills, or you endanger them by traffic, and somebody can hit them with a car or all kinds of nasty things. And you know how it is, boy. You put in a road, and then all of a sudden people put houses out there, and they want a wider road, and they drive faster and faster because they're working like one-arm paper hangers, and they want to get home and do whatever they want to do, and it just tangles up and gets worse and worse. Believe me, I've lived in other parts of Georgia where I've seen it happen. I remember when Marietta was in the woods. I'm talking about in the woods. At Sandy Plains in Piedmont, it was nothing out there but a dirt patch in high school. And now it's 4-lane traffic going both ways. It's a dangerous place to live, and no wonder kids don't get out, man. And then I moved to Douglasville, and the same darn thing happened. And all them years I was thinking about Raven County. I want to get to Raven County. And now I'm so afraid that's going to happen here. And I'm not opposed to growth, but I do like us to see that we take care of our important things. And that's our land, our water, our wildlife, and manage them properly, and not, we've already got this huge road running right through the middle. What is that, 441 or 230? Well, I don't know what the hell it's called. It's that north-south road that runs right through the middle of Clayton. It's all, just think of all the trails that thing has cut off. It used to be the deer and the bear could still cross it relatively safe, but now it's almost like an limited access highway, or not even a limited access highway. It's almost a controlled access highway, and it really causes me great concern. Anyway, I ramble on, but But, and speaking of development, there's a shining light. North Georgia Land Trust, and I'm going to keep talking about them, and I'm going to call somebody and look that up and be a part of it. I'm going to contribute to it or volunteer or something. It's a nonprofit born to conserve land permanently. That's farms, forests, waterways, vistas. It's voluntary, community-led, and meant to last forever. You can go to NorthGeorgiaLandTrust.org to find out more. These guys work with landowners willing to protect property through donation and conservation agreements. These tools allow owners to keep land in the family while limiting certain development rights. You know, it's a darn shame that people put so much emphasis on how much money they can get. The kids and the grandkids, man, they'd rather have a darn Corvette than 100 acres of pristine forest or 100 acres of farmland. They soon sell it off and drive an old Corvette. It ain't gonna do nothing but turn to junk in a short order anyway. Anyway. But, you know, there's some stuff that you can do to keep it in the family. If the family is, you know, willing to keep it as that and not be affected by the debt cycle, the give me money cycle and all that. So that's the way it shakes out. Anyway, enough ranting, man. I gotta quit doing this. I want it to be a happy moment. Take them kids fishing. Anyway, it allows owners to keep the land in the family while limiting certain development rights, preserving public benefits like clean water, wildlife corridors, scenic views. It's a way for us to embrace growth while making sure progress doesn't erase what makes Rabun special. Y'all get on board. Give me your comments on that. Tell me what you think if you run across this. Give me a message or text or whatever these things are. I'm just grateful for the time I have in Rabun County, and no matter which way it goes, it's been a wonderful time thus far, and I'm sure it'll be a wonderful time for the duration of my time. I'm just worried about the next generation. Let's see what we got here. It is 6:45. And how much script I got left? That's a good question. There's 10. 13. And I didn't get all of them. Y'all give me another. What have I done? What did I do? They give me another minute here. I need to make some changes. Change these to 28. Yeah, half the text I enlarged so I could read it from afar, and the other half I somehow skipped. I guess because my eyes are bad, I didn't see it all. But anyway, next thing is I think Foxfire's got something coming up real soon, maybe in October. Some kind of event. This is the part of the program that I like to call the Cultural Heritage Spotlight. And in this one, and I'm going to talk about Foxfire for a while until they get past the activity they got coming up, I think, in October. My throat's getting dry. I need to drink coffee. Y'all give me a... You know, I poured this coffee this morning. I ain't hit it one time. I think I had 6 ounces of coffee at the office today. You know, I told old Glenn, you know, I drank a big bottle, 16 ounces this morning, taking my meds before I left anywhere, got to work, and felt like I needed to hydrate before I went to the safety meeting. Drank half a bottle of water, came back from the safety meeting doing paperwork and drank the other half of that bottle. And then I had a walk through at the power plant with TVA project managers, and I drank a bottle before I went over there, got hydrated, and I drank 6 ounces of Glenn's coffee. And he makes good coffee now. I like that strong coffee. It's good. And boy, I told him, I stopped by the door. I said, you know, I've had 32 ounces of water this morning and 6 ounces of your coffee, and I am pissing like a Russian racehorse. I was every minute, man. Foxfire, heritage, storytelling, crafts, memories. Every time someone preserves a quilt, tells a Cherokee story, carves a wooden bowl, or builds a cane chair, that's Foxfire alive and raving. Let's talk about folks who are keeping these traditions. Craft workshops, old skill classes, passing knowledge from elders to the young. If you know someone doing that, send me their name and I'll feature them next time. It's you know, I know a lot, and I observe a lot, and I do study and forage techniques and things that you can, herbal medicines and wild food that grows, and I'm not that off-grid fella that goes about trying to survive on that stuff, but because I grow a garden and I go to the grocery store too, but those are skill sets that I think anybody, you never know when things could get bad and hard times, and you know, our ancestors up until the end of World War II, hell, everybody had a garden, and now nobody's got a garden. All the food is industrialized, so nothing wrong with big farmers. I appreciate them old boys getting out, and ladies, I appreciate them getting out there tilling the earth and making food for us to eat. Thank you. But I think we as individuals, I don't care how big a lot you got, you need to learn how to grow some darn food, whether it's tomatoes or corn or okra, squash, beans, all that stuff is easy to grow. And you know, even my garden don't produce a lot, but if I knew I had to depend on it, I knew that I would be able to manage it enough to increase the yields. Right now, it's a pleasure. It's not a necessity. But I think everybody should do that. Learn how to grow a garden. Repair furniture. You know, I go to the convenience center 2 or 3 times a week on the way to go for a walk, and somebody's throwing stuff away all the time. And I know it's no big deal. You know, I see humidifiers that I've fixed before, dehumidifiers. They get clogged up and dirty and quit doing the job. People just throw them away, go buy another one, $300 or $400 instead of fixing the one they got. Same way with refrigerators and washers and dryers, televisions. You know, you get that darn bug, you need a new TV, and you got a 55-inch, and you think how dandy a 65-inch will be. So you take that darn thing throw it away. Just don't, because you want a bigger one. Come on. Anyway, you know, yeah. One of these days, I'm going to have to give y'all a tour and let y'all look at my office. Everything I think I've got in there, except for some of this video equipment, is old hand-me-down stuff. You know, I probably got one desk that's probably 90 years old. You know, I got another desk that's probably from the 50s, and I've got 2 of them in my office. Bookshelves that I took off a demolition site, an old hospital. They're probably 30, 40 years old. Knickknacks and stuff I find at flea markets and on job sites, and stuff, memorabilia. And a lot of stuff I build myself, buy used. Now, my wife wanted this furniture outfit, and she asked me if I'd go in half with her. And I knew it meant a lot to her, and so I did. And now we've got some furniture, and just like the other furniture, it's starting to wear out. And it's just going to wear out some more. But, you know, I got old love seat in my office downstairs, and if somebody give it to me, and I got to stuff blankets under it to keep it from bowing down in the middle, you know, and stuff it so it's comfortable to sit in. It's actually a fold-out bed, and I don't know what parts of it wore out or whatever reason, but if you had to, it could be stretched out. You know, if my wife was mad at me, I can convert it into a bed and, you know, take a nap. Live. I got a little shower downstairs. I could live down there, I reckon. Don't want to. I hope we can stay peaceful enough to not have that happen. But anyway, so the Foxfire, the whole principle is utilizing the things around you. You know, caning a chair. There are getting to be fewer and fewer people who can cane a chair. And leathercraft, making harnesses, dog collars, and things like that out of leather. Now, I've practiced a little bit of leathercraft. I enjoy it, and I kind of like making this. I guess it's a piece of jewelry. I made the watch band, you know. I just do little things, and I got several other little things I've made, and I've repaired bags, and I've repaired, you know, several things, wallet, and fixed them, and stuff like that. And so it's an art, it's a talent, and it's useful. And I think we should have more people who are capable of doing that. Anything from a wooden bowl to a wooden spoon to how to build a fireplace. Anyway, that's what Foxfire does for us in our community. It originated in Raven County, and I think we as Ravenites should do the best we can to ensure its continuation well into the future. Now, running out of time, you know, did I tell y'all that last week I got me a Harrow disc, a disc from a disc Harrow? I think it's 24 inches. 24 inches? I don't know. But in the thing that it's called, the pan that I'm going to make is called a discata. A discata. And so I've got to, when I get back to Raven County next week, there's a welder shop. I ain't got a welder. But if you know who's a welder who could put a plug in that middle and sand it down and weld me a couple handles on it, I don't care if they're made out of old rebar. I might have some rebar laying around that could be used to form handles. And I'd like to start cooking El Campo. Do some Mexican dishes like them old boys do on Nueve, Ruta Nueve. Have I lost my spot? I'll be darned. Oh well. That's what I'm going to keep right on streaming. And shoot. Alright. Y'all bear with me. There we go. Oh man. I'm going to keep on streaming. We're running out of time. But anyway, if you're a welder and and you want to help me with that, and I don't expect you to do it for free. We can trade cash or some other item. Anyway, reach out to me, and if you want to help me out, and let me know that you can do that little bit of work to make me a discata. Might even invite you over for dinner. So tonight, and it's getting close to that time, tonight we've before we get to that, you know, one thing that this is a resource sharing place. We can share information and resources. And if you're looking for something, I don't care if it's hen boxes, waterers, feeders, if you're looking for hay, if you're looking for feed, if you're looking to buy a cow for put in the freezer, if you're looking for a horse for your kids, it don't matter. It don't matter. If you're looking for an item, put it in the comments below, and I'll write it down, and I'll make sure that it's part of the show, that you have that type of thing to offer up. And if you've got something that you no longer need and you'd like to turn it into something else that you might need, either through cash or through trade, let's know about that too. Okay, let's exchange resources and conserve our resources, and keep it in the house, so to say. Keep it in the community. But anyway, make sure that we do that. Tonight we've walked new and old paths. We've looked at seasons, news, roots, and what it means to believe in Rabun County's future. So I ask you, be aware. Attend those hearings. Stay informed about taxes and zoning. Be a steward, whether it's wildlife, forest, creek, or tradition. Be a community builder. Support your high schools, support craft, and support the green space. And always remember why we gather here, because we are a community of like-minded people with common interest in hunting, fishing, protecting our community, culture, families, and environment. We exchange ideas, resources, and information. Thank you for being here, for listening, thinking, caring, and keep your bows sharp, your rifles sighted, your waters clean, your stories alive. And until next Thursday at 6 o'clock, wherever I may be, I'll see you right here on the Rabun County Rag. And until we see each other again, as always, have a grateful day, have a grateful week, and we'll see you next time.